I think generally people underestimate the capability of AI. They sort of think like it's a smart human, but it's really much. It's going to be much more than that. It'll be much smarter than the smartest human. I mean, it'll be like, if can a chimpanzee really understand humans? Not really. We just seem like.
Actually, a study just came out saying that chimpanzees are far more intelligent than we thought they were, and they actually have a far greater understanding of language. But that was just an article that came out 2 days ago. But regarding AI, though, I think what he's saying is essentially it's going to be way light years ahead of us for speed and understanding of a lot of knowledge. And I think it's going to be used to control people, okay? I really do. And I don't think it's sentient. I don't think it's going to be like the Matrix or something where you got this robots that are, controlling us. And actually that story from that movie is actually based off some writings of Lovelock and others who are basically what they want to model our future off of. So you might actually be a battery one day. You never know. Okay?
Strange aliens. They mostly just care about other chimpanzees. And this will be how it is, more or less, in a relative. In fact, if the difference is only that small, that would be amazing. Probably it's much, much greater. So, the biggest mistake that I see artificial intelligence researchers making is assuming that they're intelligent. Yeah, they're not compared to AI. And so a lot of them cannot imagine something smarter than themselves, but AI will be vastly smarter, vastly.
I think the main concern, though, is what they're going to be using it for, to control people. I think that's what they're going to use it for. And I don't think, and they'll use it as a ploy to say, oh, look, you need to get this chip. Elon Musk has this new company called Neuralink. He wants you to put a chip in your mind so that you can be able to compete with this AI when it becomes so powerful. You won't be, sort of behind the times, a little chimpanzee over in the corner there, not being able to handle it, But in reality, though, the chip is going to be used to have a back door to control you too. So and from what I understand, from what I've heard about what Lovelock wrote, and you've probably heard a little bit about him of recent, because there's been a couple of articles that have come out in the news also about this, is that basically they want to give those with the more money and power, the ones that have the privilege, those people are going to have full control of this chip and be able to use it for whatever they want. And the little guys like you and me, you're going to be controlled by it. So that's kind of the idea of what it's supposed to be. And of course, Elon Musk for a while was talking against doing this. He was actually talking for a while, you shouldn't take this chip. You shouldn't do this. If you recall, a year or two ago, he was talking against this, and all of a sudden his company started having trouble. His stock started floundering, and he was having all these troubles with his companies, and then all of a sudden he sung a different tune, and all of a sudden now, oh, this is a good idea. We should start putting these chips in our heads, and all of a sudden his companies are fine again. Isn't that a little strange?
So what do you do with a situation like that? What do you do with a situation like that? I'm not sure. I hope they're nice. I mean, I have obviously some. I think in a situation where the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what Neuralink is about. Is like, can we go along for the ride with AI? I mean, I really think that there should be other companies like Neuralink, essentially to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain, because right now we are already a cyborg. People don't realize we are already a cyborg because we are so well integrated with our phones and our computers. The phone is almost like an extension of yourself. If you forget your phone, it's like a missing limb.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the one assumption that he's pushing in throughout all of this conversations that is completely not true. AI is not sentient. He's acting as if it's another being or something. Like, this AI. It's got power. It's more powerful than you. You must join it. You must join the Borg so that you can live in this new world that we're creating for you with 5G and everything, so that you can. Yeah, so this is basically the idea. I mean, the thing is, though, is it's not sentient. It's not alive. It doesn't have its own free will. This is what nobody tells you. They are creating AI. Of course, now here's the trick. They say AI, oh, look, see, AI can self-learn, right? Well, okay, so it can self-learn. You programmed a program to learn how to learn. Okay, so what? Does that mean it has free will? No, it doesn't, because it still follows the parameters that you initially put into it. Okay, you put in certain parameters. You can put into it what it deems is good and what it deems is bad. And if you program it a certain way, it's going to think certain people are no good. You see what I mean? Or certain things are no good. These things need to be stopped. These things need to be used. YouTube has multiple algorithms, and they program them. They train those algorithms. They talk about it. They even say, we are training this AI. Well, you don't need to train something that's sentient. It has its own free will if it's sentient. So clearly, it's people controlling the AI to control other people. And you need to join so that you're not left behind. That's what they're saying. This is really what's going on.
But the bandwidth, the communication bandwidth to the phone is very low, especially input. So in fact, input bandwidth to computers has actually gone down because of typing with 2 thumbs as opposed to 10 fingers. There's a big reduction in bandwidth. Input bandwidth has gone up because of video and imagery. So input bandwidth is many orders of magnitude greater than output bandwidth. But at a certain point, if we'll just, assuming a benign scenario with AI, we will.
All right, so one of the things I wanted to point out that he just mentioned was sort of a talking point of another person, another lady who was a CEO of Google. And I'll show you this real quick. I just got a million windows up, and I got to go over to it and show you this woman and where she used to work. Okay, and what she was saying the exact same thing. That's this lady here. She has her own talks once in a while as well. Gets out there, spreads her little message. This lady here was also talking about this, how you're using this basically, this primitive cell phone, and you can only type so fast, and you can only do so much with it. You need to stick it in your brain. This is what she was talking about. And so this is what they're trying to push. And where did she used to work? Right here. Okay, so that should tell you something. And where does Elon get a lot of his money from? Well, he's not exactly the best of capitalists. He gets his money and funding from those in charge of this country. All right, so let me play more of this.
Will just be too slow. To something, let's say a computer that has like an exaflop of, many exaflops of compute capability, a millisecond is an eternity, and to us it's nothing. So, I always think like human speech to a computer will sound like very slow tonal wheezing. It's kind of like whale sounds.
Yep.
Because what's our bandwidth? Like a few hundred.
Vision about the technology. I'm not a tech guy. I think more about life. I think AI is going to open a new chapter of the society, of the world, that people try to understand ourselves better, rather than the.
All right, this is very interesting. I've done videos on Jack Ma. He actually gives really interesting stories of his life and how he grew up very poor and all this kind of stuff. So he has he's the guy who owns Alibaba, AliExpress. He's had his issues over the years working with those in charge of China, but I'm kind of curious how he's also one of these people that seemingly is sort of talking about AI and sort of pushing it as well with Elon here. That's very intriguing, considering how China's been taking their best and brightest and putting them into AI even before they're out of school. Their youngest ones, their brightest, they're actually leading the way on AI right now, China is. And I've done videos covering that as well. Let's go listen to more of Jack Ma here, all right?
outside world. And it's so difficult to predict the future. 99.99% of the predictions that human being had in the history about the future, all wrong.
Including that one?
Oh yeah, only the 0.00% of the prediction are right. They're right because by accident.
Yeah, but it's also true that 80% of statistics are false.
Yeah. So my meaning is
Cold
that,
room, come on guys, that was a joke.
Yeah, because Jack Ma just showed you wrong, man. Because, I mean, he's basically saying Elon could be completely wrong about this, which he is.
But I'm happy about the artificial intelligence or Alibaba intelligence that's going to understand the inside of the human better. So when people worry a lot about artificial intelligence, people should have more confidence in themselves. Because I think if a lot of solutions we don't have today, but there will be solutions tomorrow. We don't have solutions, but the young people will have solutions. So I'm quite optimistic, and I don't think artificial intelligence is a threat. I don't think artificial intelligence is.
That's curious. That's very curious. He doesn't. I don't think it of itself is. I think it's those who are in charge who want to use these technologies on people, and you can see how they're trying to control what's going on, especially with social media. Obviously, more AI is going to give them more control, especially if we have these large conglomerate companies that are coalescing into one or two companies. You've seen over the years how a lot of the banks have become less and less. There were thousands of banks. Now that it's just shrinking. They're getting gobbled up by bigger and bigger banks. Same with these tech companies. They're gobbling up all their competition. Facebook, especially with Mark Zuckerberg, he's well known for doing that he just gobbles up anybody that has any potential of taking any of his territory, within social media. He just gobbles them up, tries to shut them down. And, so what does this mean? You have these big companies with a lot of power, and they have these AIs that they're using, and they're going to be controlling other people with them. So honestly, he's looking at maybe the good nature of people, but there's a lot of people that don't have good nature that are trying to control things.
Something terrible, but human beings are smart enough to learn that. And to me, artificial intelligence is just like, people worry a lot about this today are those people, I call them called college smartness. People like us, street smart, we never scared of that. We think it's a great fun, and we want to change ourselves to embrace it.
I don't know, man, that's like famous last words. Let me tell you, AI is,
This is funny, man. He's like literally saying the exact opposite of Elon, and Elon's like, he doesn't even know how to respond. Why does everybody think Elon is such an intelligent person? I mean, he is a smart guy, but I mean, he can't even handle a talk like this with Jack Ma. Jack Ma is being totally soft with him, being very, very sincere. He's not like, it's not as if he's trying to defeat him or something here. It's just kind of funny.
You look at sort of the rate of advancement, just in general, the rate of advancement of computers is insane. And like a good example would be video games. If you go back 40 years ago, 50 years ago maybe, you had Pong. That was just two rectangles and a square. Now you've got photorealistic real-time simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, these games will be indistinguishable from reality. You will not be able to tell the difference. Either that or civilization will end. Those are the two options.
Dude, I swear, he is literally saying like verbatim what he says every time. Does he got this like memorized or something and just keeps saying the same words over and over?
But even if the rate of technology improvement slowed down by 1,000, then okay, advance 1,000 years, or 10,000 years. This is still very tiny. Civilization has been around for probably, arguably, I think 7,000 years or something like that. If you count it from the first time there was any writing, any recorded symbols, besides cave paintings. There's a very tiny amount of time, considering the universe is 13.8 billion years old. I mean, if civilization lasted for 1 million years, we would only increment the third decimal point after 13.8 billion years. If we lasted for 1 million years. So that seems like a long time, given that we've only been around for 7,000 years. It's been kind of a roller coaster.
This is very curious, man, how he's talking, saying given that we've been around only 7,000 years. Okay, that's kind of curious that he said that. Just think about that for a minute. According to the belief that he's been espousing, that we've been around billions of years, technically speaking, it wouldn't be 7,000 years, okay? That sounds more like the other side, which those who believe we've been created say. Not. So I thought that was very curious. He said 7,000 years there. Also, I find it very curious, how this one guy, Jack Ma, is so optimistic about this. That's very curious to me as well. And Elon, he is correct to think sort of like, it's not going to go well. I actually agree with him on that, but I just don't agree with the fact that it's sentient. It isn't. It's going to be people using this on other people.
On the civilization front. So, I mean, I'm a naturally optimistic person, to be clear. I'm not saying, hey, doom and gloom. I'm just saying this is the apparent pattern. The rate of change of technology is incredibly fast. It is outpacing our ability to understand it. Well, I'm not sure, is that good or bad? I don't know. I mean, it seemed to me some time ago that you could sort of think of humanity as a biological bootloader for digital superintelligence.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something fun. I admire that you want to go on the Mars. Shall we go to the Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what will the life look like on Mars? Are you both moving? What do you think about that? Actually, I'm not interested in Mars. I just came back from.
All right, so that's a completely different topic. Let me know what you guys think about the initial part of your conversation with artificial intelligence. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.